Good morning, Tasha.
Good morning.
Stephanie's here too.
I'm here.
Yay! Good
Yay!
morning.
Stefanie, this is Tasha. Tasha, this is Stefanie.
Hey, nice to meet you, man.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's early for some of you. For me, it's late.
I tried to make it late for me. I failed.
Yeah, I know. you told me that you slept or you fell asleep on the couch.
Yeah, it was a conscious choice that I made.
Oh, okay. It wasn't just a thing that happened.
Yes, but it's because I knew that if I went to sleep upstairs, waking up wasn't going to happen.
So, before we get started today, I had a friend ask me to go to lunch with them earlier, and they asked me to go to Chicken and Pickle. That sounds fake as fuck. That doesn't even sound real. And then I
they have all
went,
kinds of weird ass names for places now.
I think it is. Because it's not like a chicken place. Like, they have all kinds of things. And then of it is pickleball.
What?
Oh, I think I've seen like an advertisement for that place pop up in my feed before. So you went, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just ate. I didn't play pickleball.
Why not?
Basically tennis.
Oh, thank you. I was going to ask. I don't know what pickleball is.
Trust me, most people don't. But it is like a really fast-growing sport, apparently.
Really?
You know, the people that were there are super into it.
Yeah, I also didn't know what it was. I just know it involved like a net because I saw it briefly in the ad.
Yeah,
Wow, do I miss the Dallas food scene, because let me tell you what we're not getting out here. That, for sure.
Yeah, you're in South Carolina, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
That is quite a bit of ways.
You know, came here for a job 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and I'm still here. It's close to the ocean. I think that's what, because it's definitely not the food, and I will absolutely fight anyone here who tries to claim that Zaxby's is better than Cane's or any of that other nonsense. Yeah.
Well, I personally
And
don't
their
even like
barbecue
Cane's.
sauce here, atrocious.
Oh no!
It's made of mustard and vinegar.
I ask, isn't that the one with the mustard in it?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
Yeah.
not
no!
right. It's not right. But it's fine because most places here will also then have a more Texas style barbecue sauce. So it's, you can at least eat your food.
Yeah, but I bet you don't get breakfast tacos.
I do not. Thank you for that reminder once again, Dustin.
You're welcome. Even the terrible breakfast tacos are good.
Yeah, man. Breakfast tacos are where it's at.
Yeah.
In the past 4 years, I still haven't managed to find a place that actually makes their own tortillas even.
Really?
Yes.
Sounds like there's a market. That's what it sounds like.
It's time for you to jump on this.
There's one place I was told to try, but it's like 45 minutes away from my apartment.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of drive.
Exactly. And into evening traffic is just like, ugh. One day.
Or you could just start your own business and be rolling in dough because everybody there is going to be like, oh my God, we've never had authentic hand-rolled tortillas before.
But I don't even think they'd like it because, the queso here, actually, they don't even call it queso. They don't even bother. They just call it cheese dip.
Oh no!
Yes. It's like barely melted.
What, do they make it with Velveeta?
No. It's white. It's white. There's no anything in it. It's just cheese.
Oh no!
It's a real abomination.
See, I can understand if it was beer cheese.
More and more alien over there.
Beer cheese is good. Beer cheese has flavor. This is not that.
Yeah, like I like to go to Applebee's just for that, like the beer cheese and the pretzels. Oh, so good.
I mean, there are a couple good places for other things. Like there's a real good burger spot and stuff like that. But compared to the fact that you can't throw a rock without hitting a good restaurant in Dallas, it's not like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But you said you're by the sea?
I mean, I'm not like that close, but I'm like a 2-hour drive. So
That's pretty cool.
Closer than Dallas is.
Yeah.
way closer than Dallas.
Yeah. All right. Should we get into it, Tasha?
Yeah, sure.
All right, hit us with the intro.
Alright, welcome to What Am Dreams. I am one of your hosts, Tasha, and I'm here with
Dustin.
and a special guest.
Stefanie.
Yay! Welcome. Thank you for joining our podcast, man. So early in the morning.
I'm even an hour ahead of y'all, and it's still early.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock there. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's still early.
what is our topic for the day other than, dreams, of course?
Yes.
Okay,
I didn't have anything
good.
in mind.
All right. Well, then let's just start off with Stefanie. What was your most recent dream?
See, that's
That
so
you can
hard to
remember.
quantify. Because I essentially have like a sleep disorder, right? So
Yeah.
I sometimes have like these little mini dreams as I'm falling asleep.
Oh.
It's very bizarre. So that's what I remember most recently because it was yesterday afternoon. I lay down to take a nap and I didn't realize I was asleep yet. And I just kind of like felt that like tickling sensation near my face.
Yeah.
Which 99% of the time it's one of my hairs or my pet's hairs, right? But
Yeah.
I opened my eyes and I could have sworn I saw a quarter-sized spider on the pillow in front of me. And I rub my eyes to see better and it's gone and I'm like, and I feel more awake and I'm like, oh no, did I dream a spider to make up for that tingly feeling?
Oh, man.
Or it really was a spider and it's living on you somewhere now.
There's that, too. Yeah.
You know what? If he eats the mosquitoes that come near me, I'll take it. Welcome, spider friends.
Yeah.
The mosquitoes.
It'd be awesome if you could have your own personal spider that just like puts a web of protection around you.
Wouldn't it?
I could ensnare creepy men that got too close too. It'd be great.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going that far. It had to be one hell of a web.
I didn't say like to die. Just
Oh. See, my brain went the most morbid place it could.
okay, that's not true. My first thought was to die, but it could also just be to inconvenience them and make them go away.
One or the other. It doesn't have to be, to inconvenience them.
All right, well then let's talk about just some of your wildest dreams.
The Taylor
Stefanie.
Swift song is currently playing in my head.
What Taylor Swift song?
Wildest Dreams. Right?
I don't even
Isn't
know
that
what
the
that is.
song title? I don't know.
That doesn't sound like a thing.
It's a thing.
I'm pretty sure you're making that up.
Wildest Dreams. I would do
I'm
the
pretty
next
sure-
note, but I think it would sound terrible right now.
I'm pretty sure you just made that up. Was this a dream you had?
No. No. Though I did dream of a musician recently. This was the dream that I was texting you about. I was like, I had a crazy dream, but I never did tell you about it.
Yeah, I had two this afternoon.
So I used to have vivid, repeated nightmares as a child, and there are some that I remember so well because I don't remember if it was like something someone had told us to do or just for funsies. But at some point, me and my friend, you know what? I don't even remember what program it would have been. I doubt it. It might have been like Microsoft Paint or something. Whatever sort of computer program we had access to in like 1998. But we made some sort of like art thing of like one of my repeating nightmares I had. And I still remember it because of that. And it was so silly. But it's that I don't remember like most of the dream now. But the scariest part was the very end where I'd be like talking to my mom downstairs in the living room, and then all of a sudden I would wrap my arms around myself and I would become a big snake. Terrifying.
Oh my
I would
God.
end up every time. No idea what that
I'm
meant.
sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but that is the
Yeah,
most
you do.
ridiculous thing I think I've ever heard.
It's hilarious. No, even I have no idea which part even scared me. Like, that would be cool. If I dreamt that I'd become a giant snake, hell yes. But no. And like, this is early, so this is before I would have watched anything like, Harry Potter wasn't even out yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where I got that
Anaconda was
from.
out by then, right?
I was very sheltered. I was not watching movies.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
But I also had a dream that I remember then where I was running through. So, like, our house that I lived in when I was that age, it backed up to a giant, like, storm drain kind of embankment thing.
Yeah.
And I dreamt that I had to, like, hop over our little back fence and then, like, run along it as I was being chased by, like, 2-story tall ice monsters. And I still remember that bit. I
Oh,
think you
that
should
shit
read
sounds
it. That
cool as
one is
fuck.
scary. Cool, but terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Terrifying.
No, I mean,
Yeah, man.
absolutely frightening. But as we've established on this show, I love my horror dreams because they are awesome.
Not a big fan of waking up feeling like,
Like you've just run a marathon.
Some giant ice monsters.
Yeah.
right? As far as like vivid dreams, I used to, especially before I got diagnosed with my hormonal disorder, the more vivid my dreams are, it used to mark depression and whatever is getting worse, because I would have like more vivid, more realistic dreams where they're like at its worst, I would wake up either screaming or actively crying as I woke up,
Oh man.
which is like a wild feeling. So that doesn't happen to me anymore because I'm medicated, thank God. But yeah, when you wake up and there's already like tears running down your eyes, it's like, oh, that's too real. I
Yeah.
don't miss
Yeah.
that.
I'm lucky that doesn't happen to me very often at all.
It's happened to me not too often, no, but yeah, those are rough.
Yeah, and then the other ones I would wake up like, you know how a lot of times in dreams like you kind of want to scream, but you can't.
Yes.
Yes, except I would wake myself up because I was screaming so loud.
Yeah.
Jeez. Tasha's only come out as, muffled groans, apparently.
Yeah, I wake up like in my dream I'm screaming bloody murder, but when I wake up it's only like groans. So I don't think I ever really scream out loud in real life. For real
Well, to be
life.
fair, the last time I remember doing it was when I was deeply mentally unwell. So
Mm.
let's all just
So
agree to
like,
stay away from those.
last week.
Papa.
I'm kidding.
Yes. I also have like terribly mundane dreams all the time that are just like a conversation between me and someone else. And I won't even remember that I had the dream or anything about it. It'll just kind of be in the back of my head. And I guess I'll kind of think it was a memory in that sense because it was so
Yeah.
mundane until I talk
Yeah.
to that person next and I realize, oh, we haven't talked since the last time. There's no way we had that conversation. Damn it, that was a dream. Like, happened to me just the other week. I dreamt that I was talking to my coworker Madison about something, and then as soon as I saw Madison though in the morning, I was like, damn it.
Well, that's like the thing that you had done recently that we were texting about, and you were like, "Didn't I tell you about this?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah, see,
Like, we haven't talked in like a month, so
nope, yep. I apparently have dream conversations all the time.
yeah. It's one way to maintain ththose close relationships.
Yeah, that's why aren't you visiting me in the astral plane when I'm trying to reach you?
Well, because
Exactly.
I'm not asleep at the same time you are.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the problem.
That's the connection. Sleep schedule.
So this afternoon, I texted Tasha. Actually, I had 2 really weird dreams back to back. the first dream could have been a movie. Could have been like we've talked about it before. I have these dreams that feel like they're movies.
Oh yeah, you've told me about some
I
of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in this one, I was sitting at a pizza place with a couple of other people. One of them, some female friend of mine, but I don't know her, but she was just, somebody in the dream that was a friend. And then this guy that we know walked in with this girl that I remember distinctly. Her name was Marissa in the dream. And I remember looking at her and going, that doesn't look like Marissa. I don't know a Marissa, by the way. But I was like, that doesn't look like Marissa. And then, like, 30 minutes or so, they leave. And then I'm talking to that female friend from earlier, and I was like, hey, did you notice? And she goes, that Marissa wasn't the same girl? And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, her face was longer and she looked older. And I was like, what do you mean? And we both agreed that, yeah, she looked like a different girl, like that this guy had somehow replaced this girl. And we found out in the dream that he had replaced her. Like, he had this girl have plastic surgery to look somewhat like her, but because her face shape was already longer, it like didn't work right. And that was when I woke up from that dream.
Dustin, what the hell?
Yeah.
This is like some more sci-fi face-off shit.
To be fair, though, last night was the first night that I had any kind of alcohol in like a while, but I also mixed it with Red Bull, so maybe. And then the other dream that I had, after I woke up from that one, I went to go pee, and then I went back to sleep, and then I had this dream, which was I wasn't even in, but there was this girl in this house, and it looked like the beginning to a horror movie. Like, all the lights are out, she's there by herself, she's kind of walking around, and she starts hearing scratching outside the house, and it's like going all the way around the house. And so she calls the person who owns the house. Apparently she was house sitting, and it's this guy who is staying out in some hotel in the middle of the woods. And she's like, hey, I don't know what's going on, but there's a bunch of scratching going on around the outside of the house. And he's like, it's fine. Like, raccoons and wild animals come up to the house all the time. That's probably all it is. Well, this is where it takes this bizarre turn, because we leave that girl, they hang up, and now we're in this guy's hotel room where he is laid down on a couch with a sliding glass door to a patio out behind him.
Yeah.
And the patio door is open. He's laid down, he's facing away from it, and a bear walks in. And this bear walks in and walks past it. Yeah, a hotel. But it's a hotel in the middle of the woods. So, who knows. But but so Yogi Bear walks in and walks past this guy, and he freaks out. So he runs over to the bed, and he's like standing there on the bed trying to figure out what to do. And then two other guys break in like they're going to try and take care of the bear. And the guy is standing there, and he's like, what do I do? What do I do? He's like, should I soil myself? Because I heard that if I soil myself, they won't come after me.
Whoa, is that a real thing?
No way.
No, that's the thing.
All right. Well, that's crazy.
The two guys are like, no, that's a myth. All that does is make it worse for us who are trying to rescue you or recover your body.
Oh my.
And that's when I woke up from that dream.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. Fun times.
Dustin, I'm not always glad to be in my head, but I am always glad to not be in yours.
Thank you. Wait, what?
Yeah, your head sounds like a terrifying place.
I love it. I love it in here.
Uh-huh.
But I might be insane.
Just a little.
That's the spice of life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Having a little bit of
Everybody
crazy.
has to be a
but not
little bit
like-
crazy.
Yeah, but if you have too much crazy, that's not
Yeah. A little bit of crazy is like that New Year's night we were at Lizard Lounge
good.
in Deep Ellum. God, I
The
for the life
Lizard
of me
Lounge.
cannot understand how that worked, because you kept walking up to me and being like, "Hey, where's Irene?" And I was like, "She just went that way." And you'd be like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna go find her." And you'd go off the way she came. And then she would come from the direction that you just left, and she was like, "Where's Stefanie?" I was like, "She just went that way." And then she was like, "Okay, cool. I'll go find her." And that happened like 6 times in a row. And I was like, "What is happening?"
Sounds like a dream.
It does sound like a dream. It sounds like some Scooby-Doo bullshit.
It was actually just drunk girls.
Yeah, that's for sure. Everybody kept
Um,
giving you their champagne ticket.
Yeah, that's what I remember best from that was, well, because I remember too that my high heel had broken like it does in the movies immediately
Yeah.
upon arriving there that night. I've never had that happen to me in my life before or since. It happened
Yep.
within 5 minutes on New Year's Eve.
Oh man.
I know.
Yeah.
It was, you couldn't walk on it because it also wouldn't even separate. So it was just like hanging there clunking. I think I ended up like taking Irene's socks because they're the little
Yep.
no-shows. So it kind of
Yep.
looked like black flats if you didn't look closely at all in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And that was upsetting. So I wanted to drink faster because of how uncomfortable I was.
Oh, I get that.
And
Yeah.
so then I just started convincing like random always meant to give me their free champagne tickets that they got when they came in the door. I collected far too many based simply on the strength of the migraine I had the next day.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, there's
Sounds like a good
probably
night
also
though
that.
after the champagne.
Yeah. It's probably also that super cheap champagne. So
Oh God, yeah,
yeah,
the worst kind.
it's like nothing but sugar.
Oh.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Lizard Lounge.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a mistake of a building that it was.
Yeah. Oh man, it's such a weird layout.
Yeah, it was.
It really felt like it was designed to be something else. Just
I
kept
bet it was.
Like fuck it. It's club now.
We'll do it live. All right, Tasha, tell us your dream that you were talking about a few minutes ago.
So it was a very brief dream from what I remember of it. But it was like I was watching a movie. I don't have these as often, I think, as you, Dustin, but it was like I was watching a movie and I was watching a celebrity, Cardi B of all celebrities. Okay. She was like decked out in all her fabulous entertainment gear, like she's ready to get on the stage. The environment around her, like they had just pulled up into what seemed like the desert. So, like, there was no stage, no audience. It was just her and her co-looking friends.
Okay.
And it seemed like they were ready to party. So they pull up into this desert.
I got to Coachella a week early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably it. And Cardi B starts twerking. She starts dancing. And then
As you do in the middle of the desert.
in the middle of the desert, she looked like she was having fun with her friends. But then a large creature that what I can describe as like a saber-toothed tiger came out of nowhere and just like ran her right the fuck over. It was very alarming.
That
It was
did
like a
not go
scene
how I
drop.
thought it was going to go.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I don't know why I did this, but I feel like I should kind of warn her. Like, stay away from saber-toothed tigers. It's not safe.
I'm pretty sure those are snakes.
Ma'am, don't go near any museums or deserts. Just saying.
Yeah, man. it rolled right over her like a fucking truck, and she got essentially mauled, but she was still conscious. So she was still talking, so she was alive, but she was definitely scratched up and bleeding. And well, I say we, but they called the ambulance, or the ambulance was called. So that was something. That's all I remember of that one.
Certainly an unusual one.
Yeah. I think my talk of dreams is rubbing off on you now.
Maybe. I wouldn't say it was scary though.
Well,
It was just like a thriller.
I mean, well, it's like the bear dream wasn't scary, but you know.
Yeah. And what is with the soiling, man?
That I don't know. I was
Is
like,
that a real rumor?
so there is a thing that says like if you do that, like they'll leave you alone. But
Huh.
I don't think that's real. I think it was a rumor, like, started because they were like, oh, it smells bad, they'll leave it alone. But
Well, I
bears
think
are
it's also
animals, like they
when
won't
you
care.
die, you tend to soil yourself. So I
Yeah.
understand where the logic is coming from. However,
Okay, yeah.
it's also a bear, and you're definitely still alive. And even if you were
Right.
dead, they were still going to eat you. So it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And I like how his first reaction was to jump on top of the bed and stand there.
Bears
Yeah.
can climb. Just
Oh
remember
yeah.
that.
Yeah, just a little. I think he might have gotten it. He might. I don't think he was that safe.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and just a guy standing on top of a bed with his, like shrugging. Should I soil myself? That was the funny thing.
Can anyone just shit on commands? Don't answer that. I don't want to know.
Well, it's funny too that in my dream he did say soil myself. He didn't say shit in my pants. He didn't say anything like that. He was just like, should I soil myself?
I'm gonna do it right now. I don't know if there was a threat of a bear, and I felt like that was the way between me living and dying. I might be able to do it on command.
I mean, pee on
I mean-
command, maybe, but yeah, that's just from all the drug tests I've had to take over the years. But
I can't do either.
I used to not be able to pee on command. However, the unit that I was in the Navy, for some reason, they tested 10% of our command every single week. So I
Wow.
popped up a lot. And I mean, for good reason, because at like one point we caught a lieutenant doing coke.
Oh man.
Caught a guy doing what was cool back in 2009. It wasn't Molly. It was something real dumb like that. There was some party drug.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of people caught using painkillers. Like, anyways, there was a reason, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
not me though. One time I remember I was on the list every single week for like 12 weeks straight, and near the end of it, I was just like, guys, just please.
Just say no.
Yeah, so you just start to kind of get a little bit better at that, so you can get through it faster. Because they don't let you leave. Like, once the list comes out, you are trapped.
Yeah.
You're allowed to get water, but like, you are trapped.
I was gonna say,
You can't
like,
leave. Yeah, they take it seriously. So the sooner
Well,
you
yeah,
want to
I mean-
stop being held hostage, the sooner you pee in a cup.
I would think the big one that they don't want you doing though is heroin,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, but that
like
wasn't
Coke.
specifically warned against.
Yeah. But coke, like I could be like, you know what? I'd be okay with you if you're doing coke, because it's like, you're gonna get your job done faster.
Dustin says, "You be all right."
Yeah, but be how annoying during. Like, no thanks.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're by yourself doing your job, then fine.
Yeah.
How about that?
Also, the biggest reason is because this ship is a very dangerous place to work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, not really for my job, because I did the weather, but for people who had dangerous jobs, try to do those jobs while intoxicated is probably not the way to go. That's probably the way to like cut off a limb or something. So
Oh yeah.
we had a guy that was actually our only casualty, which is surprising because normally every deployment loses one person through various. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just me saying that like anecdotally. By the way, that's not a real statistic. It just seems like every single one of my friends, when they came back, they'd be like, "Yeah, someone." A lot of times, it was someone who like jumped overboard on purpose, which is still like not great, but better than
Losing a limb and
Then,
bleeding
yeah,
out.
an accident. Yeah.
But our only casualty was it was like pretty early into deployment too, which is unfortunate. I think we were only like a month in, but they were moving the aircraft around on the flight deck at night, and some poor kid got his foot ran over by another aircraft as he was directing one aircraft. So he lost the foot, as you can imagine. They had to amputate that.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, he got to fly home for good reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was worth a foot, but you know.
Probably not. Probably not.
How many carriers have you been on?
3 or 4? But I only deployed on the one. The others were like, I either went for the day or for like the week or something.
Okay.
Most people wouldn't ship hop as much as we did, but because that was kind of the way our job started to work, as you know, the way technology goes, weather no longer needs 85 people in the office because we don't need people like transcribing faxed in reports and such now, thanks to the internet. So it just became that they concentrate all the weather people in one building and kind of assign them out in teams to the various ships that need weather support, which is just anything big enough to have a whole squadron of planes gets their own weather team. So because of that, like, you know, you were able to get shuffled into any team and then go out to do, because there's a lot of like small and short underways before you do the big deployment. So you'll go out for a week here, 2 weeks there. So I've done those kind of short stints on many boats, but I only deployed on the Carl Vinson.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Tying that back into dreams, did you have any that you can remember while on the boat?
So our first trip down, why was it only the first one? I don't know now. Did they only give it to us because we went there? That was 2010, so my memory's a little hazy, but we got anti-malarial pills, and I don't remember if that was specifically because we responded to the Haiti earthquake or if we got them anyways because we were going near South America. I'm not sure. Either way, we had them. I took them once, one singular time once. After that, I was willing to risk the malaria because it gave me the wildest nightmares. It was unreal. And everybody else agreed. Like, it gave everybody super fucked up dreams. I don't remember what it was now. I just remember that it was enough for me to be like, I'll risk it. Bring up. No. I'll take a chance, mosquitoes.
Damn.
Because, like, I was also on the top rack. So any kind of violent movement in my sleep, that's a dangerous game I'm playing.
Yeah.
6 feet up from a hard tile floor.
Yeah.
Actually, I do remember one particular incident because, you know, I remember hearing y'all talk before about how sometimes when there's like ambient noises that they'll feature in your dreams and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was the time that the Marines had landed their plane on our ship to drop Bin Laden's body in the water. And I worked a night shift. So I was pretty used to sleeping during the day and hearing planes take off and land all day. I usually slept with some kind of earplugs in, but jets are a little loud, so you hear it anyways.
Yeah.
But, you know, my sleep self like learned to just tune that out. It was fine. And then when the Marine plane landed, it was a different kind of noise. And I remember, like, it eventually woke me up, but just because I was like, that's not our plane. but the propeller noise was in my dream. And I didn't think anything of it until the reason I still remember that detail now is because when I went up to the office later to be like, did I make that up? And they were like, no. We dropped some Lon's body in the water. And I was like, we did what?
You're like, and I wasn't even awake for it?
Apparently they locked down a whole ship. No one was allowed to go anywhere near it because you definitely could not trust Joe Schmo sailor to not film that. Although this was also before you wouldn't have been able to directly upload it to Facebook. Our camera phones weren't that good yet, but still.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't remember any of the specific dreams I had other than that one. And the fact that I was always thankful that I didn't have vivid dreams.
The reason I ask is because I just feel like if it was me, just that motion of being on the ship.
Motion on the ocean.
Yes. Even though I'm sure the motion isn't felt quite as significant when you're on a ship that size.
Yeah, it really cuts through the water. The biggest seas we hit were 14 feet. And that was only for a brief period of time. That was wild.
Ooh.
Water was coming in everywhere.
Yeah.
But even then, we didn't have to walk on the walls like they do on some of the real small ships.
Yeah.
But then I rode on the amphibious ship for a while. And when that one hit 7-foot seas, I had to go get the nausea pills for medical because I was like, I don't remember it affecting my sleep. I just remember being very sick.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, man.
But the trick, by the way, so the small ships, the real small ships that hit those waves, they have belt things to keep you in the rack so you can't just roll out.
Yeah.
We didn't because we normally didn't hit those kind of waves. So the trick was to tuck your boots underneath your mattress on the outside at third intervals so that way it would tilt your mattress kind of up there at the end.
Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Nifty. I would have still found a way to fall, probably.
Yeah.
It's pretty motivating. You really don't want to fall.
I can imagine.
It's a hard ground.
What trips me out about it, thinking about it, is how dark it has to be. In the middle. Obviously, there's lights on the ship, but if those lights were off, you wouldn't be able to see anything except stars. And
we can talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
So on the aircraft carrier, there was almost always some kind of light on because nighttime was airplane maintenance time, right? Because they flew all day. The only time we really turned the lights off was, of course, when we were going through the 14-foot seas because everything is locked up. That was
man.
And when we were going through 14-foot seas, we also had 80-knot relative winds hitting the flight deck, which means the winds weren't actually that strong, but since we were going into the wind, and 80 knots is, someone would have to do the math. It's probably 90 some miles per hour.
Yeah, it's 1 point something miles per hour per knot.
I think it's 1.1. But once you get up to 80,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was. I went out twice to take my weather observation during that. And the first time, my legitimate thought was, I'm going to blow away. I'm going to get picked right up off the ship and get dropped into that water, and no one will ever find me. Because I also weighed 120 pounds at the time, and I was wearing this big old jacket. Disaster. It was thunderstorming outside. No one would have ever found me.
Oh, man.
But the next time I went out I grabbed one of the big bosun's mates. Someone who was double my weight, and I was like, okay, make sure I don't fly away. And then after that, I refused to go back out because the other observer on with me was also double my weight, and I was like, it's your turn, buddy. But yeah, I wasn't about it. But even then, there was just something about I don't remember if it was because I left the door propped open. There was just, you could still just kind of see a little bit. There's just a few lights in the, much darker than it normally is, but you can tell where the ship is. The worst time, because as long as actually, if there are stars, it's fine, because out there in the middle, you can see the Milky Way. It's incredible, and also kind of bright enough. The time that I still remember, we were barely off the coast of California. I mean, far enough that we didn't have any more light pollution, but still within probably 100 miles, 100, 200 miles. And it was, that very low cloud cover that hangs off over the ocean out there. And this is when I was on the amphibious ship, so they don't leave their lights on at night. And the other worst part is when you go to take a weather observation, there's no designated deck. Like on the aircraft carrier, I went around the island, so it's a very narrow little pathway. You can feel the ship and the rail at the same time. You know where you are. On the amphib, you had to just walk out into space to like the front of the deck. And
oh no,
yes, I still remember the first time they like threw me out there. There were other people there. I wouldn't have known. As soon as that door shut, I didn't know which way was up. It was the blackest black I've ever been in. Like, I legitimately couldn't have told you if I was standing on the ground, if I was upside down. I had a whole ass panic attack. Like, couldn't find the door.
That's nightmare fuel.
It was absolutely, took a sidestep into the abyss temporarily. So that's a big never again for me. I still try to sleep with some kind of light at night, which I also stole from the ship. The ship uses red lights. They keep dim red lights in like the sleeping areas at all times.
Yeah, I hear that's better for sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
The color.
It is. It helps. You can sleep through it real easy. So I still use that because I never want to be in the abyss again. I'm good. Thanks. Yeah, if there are stars, it's fine. If there's no stars and no moon, no thank you. That ocean's dark.
Yeah. I've seen those videos on TikTok of like people on fishing boats in the middle of the night. They turn off their lights and they're like, this is what you see. And like, there's just nothing. You're like, oh, yeah. Sweet.
It was like stepping into the Twilight Zone for a minute.
That's a big nope.
It was a big nope for me too. I felt the same way.
See, I like the dark, but I also have that thing of like being afraid that something exists in the dark that I can't see.
You know what I'm more afraid of is not the something else in the dark. It's me in the dark.
Well,
I will injure myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or I am fall off the ship.
Yeah. Yeah, when you said you walked out into space, I was like, oh, you absolutely are going to fall off that ship. I'm surprised you didn't.
From that door, I would have had to take many steps to fall off the ship. So I did not do that. I took like 2. So that's probably the only reason why I didn't.
You're like, I'm going to play it safe. I know that this is far enough.
Yeah, that's 2 more steps than I would have taken pitch black.
You would have just stood up against the door.
Yep. Because the door wasn't yet closed, so it wasn't yet black. Just so we're clear, I had the same paralyzing fear as soon as the door closed.
So as soon as you couldn't see anything, you stopped.
Game over. Full panic.
Oh man.
Straight into irrationality.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Saying straight into irrationality reminds me of the one kind of dream that I really had wanted to talk to y'all about, that I seem to kind of have recurring, although it's not exactly the same dream. I recognize it as an anxiety dream now. Like, it's clearly when I'm feeling anxious about something and I'm not dealing with it. But I will have a dream. It's the only time I ever dream that I'm driving. And something is wrong with the car. Usually the brakes don't work, but sometimes it's other things. And so it's just sitting behind the wheel of this runaway vehicle. Terrifying every time. Sometimes there's a hill involved, sometimes it's other cars, doesn't matter. But it's like, if I'm driving in a dream, it's bad.
Yeah. That's like my driving from the back seat dreams that I have.
Yeah, I always wake up right before the crash, though.
Man, yeah, that's usually how I am too. Right
Thankfully,
at
I
and
never
right
crash.
before.
Oh, I mean, like, I can tell the crash is coming, and then
Mhm.
instead of, like, yeah, my brain just wakes up instead.
Well, I mean, I don't ever get to that point. Like, I just get out of the car. I give up. I'm like, oh, I can't do this.
But how do you get out of a car that's, like, rolling at 70?
Well, no. So, like, I stop the car, and then I'm just
Right.
like, no, I can't do this.
Part of my brain, I can't. My brakes never work. You can't just stop the car.
Yeah.
Or the one time that actually that wasn't the issue, I remember is I had gotten outside of the car, and then there was another car whose brakes didn't work
Oh,
that
No.
came to hit me. Yeah.
your dream was determined to kill you.
Yeah, basically. I actually read about that one because I had that genre of dreams so often that
Mhm.
I looked it up, and it's about like the anxiety of feeling out of control in something in your life.
Right.
So that's how your brain is expressing the frustration and not having like control over something that feels very important.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now at least when I have the dream, it's slightly less terrifying because I'm able to be like, all right, what's been happening?
You start evaluating your life. All right, what do I feel like I'm not in control of?
Oh, I've got a real good ostrich stick my head in the sand, pretend things aren't happening. It's a strength of mine.
Yeah.
So sometimes I really do have to actually sit and think, wait, what am I ignoring?
That's good. That's a good thing to do though.
Well,
Yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not.
I'm really bad about being like all right, we have to address this. You know, I'm the opposite where it's like, okay, let's face it head on. What's happening?
See, that's why I need a friend like you in my life, because otherwise I'll just constantly be like, what car coming for me? What are you talking about? I don't
Right.
hear anything. And you're like, it's not even a car, it's a train. How do you not hear it? I'm like, don't know.
I think
How did
that
a train
feeling-
even get here?
I think that feeling of being out of control for me manifests in one of my other recurring dreams. It's not like a driving dream, it's a teaching dream.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I always show up to work late in this dream, and when I show up, I have no plans, and I'm staring at a room full of children with nothing to do for the next several hours or so, and I panic in my dream.
No, that
'Cause
sounds
I
like a
haven't-
good reason to panic.
Yeah.
I would panic just because there was so many kids looking at me. Oh my god.
Without a designated plan to handle them? Yes.
Yeah,
Like, how did I even get here?
exactly. And I'm always fucking late. It's so annoying.
I mean, that's just my everyday life for me, so that wouldn't be a significant part of it.
She
Yeah, I
wouldn't
get
even
that way
recognize it as a
sometimes.
dream.
Yeah, my brain is so good at dreaming about my alarm clock noises that I kind of have to change them regularly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine used to pop up in my dreams too. I don't remember it affecting anything that was happening in my dream. I just remember it playing faintly and far away.
No, so my favorite iteration of this is when I was I don't remember when I got this clock, but definitely I think the dream happened in high school. So a couple years earlier, I had gotten an alarm clock that, because this is probably before I even had a cell phone. Goodness, I'm really aging myself here. But there was an alarm clock that it would have like this different arrangement of funny voices telling you to wake up. Some of them were probably partially offensive, but that's okay. That it was the 90s. We don't talk about it. And
Yeah.
but like in my dream, I would give them like bodies and faces, and I would see them yelling at me in my dream.
Oh
It
man.
was, yeah, am I waking up? No. But like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I would just be dreaming about these like people yelling at me.
Oh, you saying that about the 90s. It's like, yeah, nothing was offensive in the 90s.
It really wasn't.
I mean, like
I saw,
it was, we just didn't know it was.
well,
Eh.
I mean, I saw something the other day. Somebody was talking about American Pie, and they were like, that movie is so problematic. And I was like, well, we didn't think so back then.
Yeah.
That was peak entertainment.
Yeah, it was.
There are some things now, if I go back and watch them now, I'm like, wow, what the fuck? That was better in the past.
Yeah.
That was me watching Airplane with my kids. Bad choice.
Definitely don't watch Blazing Saddles with them.
Noted.
Yeah. Somehow that got brought to work. This was at my last job where I was a contractor with the Air Force, and the Air Force is the bureaucratic arm of the military. So like they don't even many places try not to curse. What? So that really didn't resonate with me. But there's like especially a lot of officers that like take this seriously and would judge what it was like on TV or what movies people would put in. So how the fuck Blazing Saddles even ended up in that building, I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
And every time someone tried to put it in, there would just be like a no.
That movie's offensive on so many levels.
I haven't even seen the whole thing, so I don't know all the levels, but I can agree with you.
All right. We're done with the dream talk. Is that right?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, Stephanie, we do recommendations for books at the end of the
Yes,
podcast
Dustin.
usually. Yeah, I know.
You did not prep me for this, but I did listen to the past episodes, so I also recognize the fact that I feel like you purposely didn't tell me.
It was not on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sounds like something you do.
Hey, what?
It does.
I'm just kidding. Kind of.
I've been really branching out into spicy fantasy lately.
Ooh.
So if that's your jam, it's great because there are some that are clearly just, sex with fairies. But there are other books that have like a whole story and the characters just so happen to have sex in the story. But it's, So one of my favorites of the second type is, it starts with a book called Guild, and it's called like the Plated Prisoner series. I think there's somehow a fifth one coming out. I was very upset when I finished the fourth one and realized it wasn't done. But it's probably my favorite book series I've read this year. And then, for a more PG recommendation, my all-time favorite books that I read them first in junior high, and I will still go back and reread them. The first one is called Sabriel, and it's the Porson series. It's the best fantasy books I've ever read.
For as long as I've known you, I never would have pegged you for like a fantasy book type reader.
Oh, most of my books are fantasy.
But well, I know that now.
I'm not like traditional fantasy usually. I don't have a lot of like the old school, English accent elves shit.
Yeah. Well, I know that you've read the Twilight series.
Yes, but to be fair, I started reading them like in 2009 when they were coming out.
Uh-huh.
And I also thought the movies were atrocious, so.
Same.
I could
I
recommend it.
didn't finish the movies. I read all the books, but I did not finish the movies.
The books were good until you thought about them. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. Don't think about
Oh no, I have, and yeah, I'm right there with you. It's like while I was reading it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool. And
The
then I
second you
thought
think
about it, and
about
I was like, this is really messed up and weird. Especially like the ending
Oh, yeah.
with Jacob.
Yeah,
And
when you read it on surface level, it's like, oh, that's sweet. And then you think about it and you're like, no.
yeah,
But then you remember that she was Mormon and it makes more sense.
I forgot about that. So those are your recommendations.
Yes.
All right.
Nice.
I'll go next. My recommendation is going to be Ready Player One. There's a movie based on it. It's Ernest Cline. It's set in a futuristic sci-fi world where people are spending a lot of time in virtual reality playing games. It's very
I
good.
have seen the movie and I liked the movie, but I've heard people who love the book say that the movie was nothing compared to the book.
Oh, for sure. I mean, but that's the way it always is. The books are always better.
Mm-hmm.
I will say one book I really want to get into, but I can only find it in German for some reason. I mean that is the original, is the Neverending Story book. Because of the movie so much, and like because books are usually better, I wanted to find the book, but it's only in German. So
surprised it hasn't been translated. Maybe the translation is just out of print.
yeah, I'm thinking
It is
that it is
surprising.
out of print, and books are also only in German, which bugs
That
me.
part makes sense.
Yeah. Tasha, what do you got?
All right, so my book recommendation today is a book called False Memory by Dean Koontz. He's a thriller horror writer. And this book, it almost seems like a woman's descent into madness. But it starts off with her being afraid of herself, or developing just an inkling of being afraid of herself, and it just gets by the end it gets out of hand.
Does it get like yellow wallpaper out of hand?
Yeah, man. It
love
was a
that
pretty
story.
freaky read.
But you just reminded me, I did not give the authors for either of my books.
Oh, go ahead.
I know I said that. For Guild is written by Raven Kennedy, and Sabriel was written by Garth Nix.
Nice.
Okay.
Let's check those out for fantasy and a little bit of spice, right?
And it's only for the second one. We got
the
a spice-free one. Yeah, or the first crap.
Yeah, the
Raven
first one.
Kennedy wrote the spicy book. Garth Nix did not. So if you want kids, yeah. But I may have to go check out your book. I wanna read some yellow wallpaper-esque fiction.
Yeah, it's pretty freaky. So if you're into that kind of thing, where a book that might keep you up at night, then check it out.
Good deal.
All right. So as usual, you can listen to us on Stitcher, Sirius, Spotify, Anchor, and Pandora. Also, we have an email address if you'd like to email us your dreams so that we can read them aloud on the podcast and judge you for them. It's going to be whatamdreams@gmail.com. And we also have a Patreon. Still haven't gotten around to all the tiers yet. But we do have a $5 tier, which is support only.
Woo!
We love that.
And, of course, we're on all the other socials at What Am Dreams, Insta, Face Chat.
Are you on the Clock app? The TikTok?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Yeah. Oh, the Clock app. Took me a second.
I've uploaded a couple of things there. Instagram.
Yeah.
And Twitter.
Yeah, I don't
use Twitter.
Thank you for listening. Thank you, Stefanie, for joining us. It was a pleasure having you.
Of course.
And yay, dreams.
Yay dreams.
Yay.
This is the worst cheerleading crew ever.
And 5,
All right.
6, 7, 8. Oh no, okay, we weren't cheerleading. Got it.